it was just a right before you'd like tied up your horses, and you said this is where the boar hunt will begin. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds right.
You hadn't like found the boar or anything like that at that point,
Nope.
correct?
Nope.
Okay.
We
Okay.
were just walking through the forest and I forget the dude's name, but he just talked to everyone who was present.
Aldrin. Yeah. Okay. Um. Okay. So Oh, hold on for a second. The kids are playing something in the background that's distracting me, so I need to close my door. 1 second. Okay. So the rest of it's sort of, late afternoon, or I guess late morning at this point. Um, the woods seem relatively calm. There's, Aldrin is clearly a good tracker. That's one thing that you've been able to pick up is that he's able to, but he makes kind of a big show of what you would call sort of novice tracking, right? Where he's like, oh, making it seem like it's kind of a big deal that he knows, what boar prints look like, or maybe where there's been some rutting that's happened on a tree, right? Where you can see that there's some, clear markings. But he kind of makes it it's clear that he's impressed with himself and it's not his first ever boar hunt. Um, there is a bit of tension that builds when the noise of the boar is first heard. Um, and then he gives everybody directions in terms of encircling the beast and trying to be as quiet as possible while doing so. He suggests that Rakana should stay close to him in sort of the front, and then he asks for 2 volunteers to go to the right and 2 volunteers to go to the left.
I'll go left.
Okay, so Forrest will go left with.
Cal will go left as well then.
Okay, so Forrest and Cal will go left. And then who would like to go to the right?
Yes, I will.
And yep, maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay, we'll have Daisy.
If no one else wants to.
Okay. All right. So then will the 4 of you that volunteered go ahead and give me either a nature or a stealth roll. Okay. Beautiful. So Cal and Gib definitely make their way, through the woods. But it's very clear that Forrest, well, after spending his entire life in the woods, never really did what was necessary to figure out a way to traverse it quietly. And Daisy's, maybe a little hard of hearing after all the, uh, battles that they were involved with. And so it doesn't understand that the crunching of the leaves is a little bit louder than what they had anticipated. This alerts the boar, who then comes charging at everybody who's remaining sort of with Aldrin. Those of you who would like to try to dodge out of the way, you can attempt a reflex save. Those of you who would like to stand and fight, you can give me a fortitude check. So that would be Mar, Danny, Rakana, and Lucian, I believe.
No, I'm not there.
You didn't go at all?
I stayed at the inn.
Okay. All right.
I don't think Danny went either. I don't
No,
Yeah,
I
Danny
would let
stayed.
you
Me
in.
and Danny stayed, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Lucian, Mar, and Rakana. All right,
I said I would go for the feast, but I didn't want to go hunting.
got it. Or I guess not Lucian. I guess it's just Rose and Rakana. Okay. All right. So all of you kind of, stand your ground as the boar comes charging. Rose does get clipped by the boar on the first charge and takes 5 points of damage. Aldrin's able to, take out his rapier. It's actually kind of an interesting thing that he does. He has a cane that, in the flash of an instant, becomes a rapier, and it, makes a quick slash against the boar. Rakana, do you want to try and attack it?
Sure.
Just give me a d20. Well, an attack roll. Okay. So that says shove for some reason.
Oh yeah, I've got it showing the notes. Sorry.
Oh,
No,
I see.
just ignore
Okay.
that.
All right. Yeah, it definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage. Nice. Okay. So Rakana kind of, steps up, pulls out her warhammer, takes a big swing, and kind of catches the boar squarely in the side, and makes like a squealing noise as it runs away. There's a, let's see, it goes to the right. It's kind of wheeling to the people that went off to the right, which was, who was that? That was Daisy and Gib. Okay. So again, you can give me a reflex save if you want to try and dodge, or a fortitude save if you want to stand and fight.
So does the fortitude save also enable an attack?
Yes. Okay. The two of you, watching your friends get attacked by this boar, have kind of mentally prepared yourself for what's to come, and you are clearly ready as it attacks. And so it's charging you, and you can feel free to make an attack. Okay. Daisy, you pull out your bow, take aim very carefully, and go sailing over the boar's head. You almost hit Mar as a result. Kind of ricocheted off of a branch, and
Oh, no.
luckily Mar was tending to her wounds and kind of looked down at her side there to see the scratch, and just in time to watch an arrow whiz over her head. And Gib is able to get a really nice attack in with their short sword. Just go ahead and roll damage. Okay. Again, the boar makes kind of a squeal. I will say, yeah, no, you guys both did it. So it continues on straight towards was that Forrest and Cal. So fortitude if you want to stand and fight, reflex if you want to try and dodge out of the way. Okay. You know, perhaps seeing the ease with which Gib and Daisy, stood their ground may have given you a bit of overconfidence. But you can go ahead and roll your attack rolls.
Was that for both of us?
Yep, both of you you're both going to get hit, but you're both going to be able to make an attack as well.
So, am I able to cast a spell,
Sure.
or is it
Anything that you've got three actions to work with essentially, but none of them can be move actions, right? So,
Oh, then
Yeah.
disregard that first. What I just did.
well, I mean, like you get an attack, right? Is kind of how
Okay,
it's.
then yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and cast that.
Okay. All right. Fabulous. So does it get? How does this work? What's the saving throw? So it's
Um,
against. I'm assuming it's reflex, but you want to check that for me?
it just says attempt a spell attack against the target.
Oh. Okay. Go ahead.
That's what is that? That's a D20 plus my spell attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm operating on the assumption that people can hear the forest in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can hear birds and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can hear it.
God.
Okay.
Yep, now I can.
Does
Let me
mine
see.
hit?
Does yours hit? I am trying to find that out right now. One second. No,
Okay.
I'm assuming mine does not.
that is correct. Yours does not either. The boar will attack both of you. Um, 14 damage to you, Cal.
Jesus.
Yeah, he got
That's
you
an
really
angry
good.
boar.
And
Gored
he's
you.
he's gonna do 10 damage to you, Forest. So there's blood like everywhere at this point. Where there's been a ton of it's basically it is bleeding pretty profusely. And it kind of takes off into the woods, but it should be relatively easy to track down. Aldrin, quickly moves into action and sort of rallying the troops until points everybody to the blood trail and suggests that you follow it.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Okay. So if for some reason you're not going to follow,
Mm-hmm.
is there anybody who's not following?
Are we not staying as a group?
Oh,
Well, that's the question.
I mean, I would go. I would assume we're all staying together, but if we're not,
Okay. I'm just asking if anybody's not going to go. I'm giving anybody an opportunity to not go. Okay. So everybody goes, right? And again, the amount of blood is pretty significant. You can see that between the Rakana probably broke several ribs of it, and maybe even one or two of them punctured through to where it's bleeding out of both sides. You can see a very clear blood trail that leads you into a pretty heavy thicket. It's hard to see, but the boar's very slow at this point, and you definitely see it there, and it kind of turns and wheels, and everybody would get an attack. Who would like to try an attack?
I'll attack again.
do we just roll if we want to?
Yeah, you can just roll your attack.
I would like. Could I give Rikana guidance?
You could.
And
Oh,
I
fuck, I
will
forgot.
do
I was
that.
supposed to play Blizz's character today.
Okay.
Someone was also supposed to play
Play
Shion.
Shion's, yeah.
Oh, I think that was me.
You guys are terrible.
I didn't hear if he was going to be here or not today, okay?
Okay. Well, let me edit.
That means we're gonna miss Shion's sweet, sweet voice.
So Shion is controllable by Rakana. and Queso.
Can already see what kind of day this is gonna be.
I just want to say I'm very disappointed that I wasn't chosen to roleplay as Blondie again. That was a lot of fun.
You know, gotta pass it around occasionally. You know.
Mm,
Okay. So, all right. So you're throwing a dart at him, Cal.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Rakana and Daisy, you guys can roll damage. Gib, you're gonna take some damage. Okay. Kind of a glancing blow from Rakana there. Gib, you know, he managed to, you know, stick an arrow in him this time. Gib, you're going to take 15 points of damage.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But you can definitely, and then we're gonna have Aldrin takes another slash at him with his rapier, and it's interesting because like even though people are taking quite a bit of damage, he seems, you know, perfectly fine. This is kind of in stride with what he's had anticipated. He's doing like little flourishes as he's attacking, which is kind of interesting. But he takes a nice little swing at him with his rapier and manages again to kind of make a nice cut along the side. It seems more to slow him down than to, you know, be a sort of killing blow type of situation. Just to kind of make it a little bit safer for the rest of you. Is there anybody else who wanted to make an attack that hasn't yet?
I gave guidance to Rakana, so I'm assuming
Okay.
that's my action.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And just
I guess,
and I just want to clarify real quick.
Yep.
If I if Forrest personally performs an action, I cannot use animal companion.
yeah, I mean, basically your action would have to be to use the, you know, command action or whatever it is, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. This is just it's a slightly different way to kind of deal with combat rather than the sort of monotony of, all right, everybody take your turn, take your three act, you know, do that kind of stuff. This is sort of meant to be sort of a fast-paced, you know, everybody kind of gets one action. The Borg is, you know, making sort of, you know, cleaving strikes against people, that kind of stuff. I guess I can get some epic battle music though, since, you know, it is battle. Why is that not playing?
Something's playing. It's just kind of
Yeah,
quiet.
there's something playing.
Music bot is very low today.
Oh, well, I turned it down. There's the, okay. Just the what's it called? They're so loud. Those, oh, let me turn this down.
Now it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Okay. So do you want to have Cal? Oh, not Cal. I'm sorry, Blizz, who's not. So, Lep, you should have control over Blizz if you want to pull him up and have him make an attack, if that's what the plan is.
Am I just supposed to do that the same way I pull up my own?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I just get a picture of him.
Well, so like if you go into journal, right?
Yeah.
And then you click on, where is he at? Queso. Make sure I have him. Oh, you know what? I put the wrong person. I'm sorry. Hold on. There we go. Hold on. And now you should be able to access him.
There we go.
Yep. My bad.
I'm gonna test this real quick. It should just be to you. You can ignore it though.
Okay. It was just to me.
Cool. That'll be easier if I ever have to do that in the future.
Are you gonna attack with him?
Yeah, I was just looking at what he had.
Sure. Imagine it's just a dagger attack. Shoot it, sit up. Oh no. Okay. So Case is gonna take some damage too. Got kind of close and ooh, yikes. 12 points of damage to Queso as well. The boar is definitely in rough shape at this point. And it kind of, wheels around and makes one last charge. So anybody who wants to try and attack, may attack.
I will attack. Just give me 1 second. I'm on a different computer.
Oh, okay. Oh boy.
You said we're getting another attack, right?
You have an opportunity to make it is basically it ran through you guys, right? It kind of runs through the party, nicking a couple, or not nicking, but hitting, goring a couple people, frankly. And it's now turned around and is kind of, running back towards you. You can see it, there's a bunch of blood on the ground. It's in, it's sweating. It's kind of making all sorts of noises, and it's making one final charge at you guys.
I will.
That was not an attack, Mar. Oh, I guess that he has
Yeah,
to
you
roll a
do.
reflex save. That's how that
Correct.
works, right?
Correct, yeah.
So this is gonna be the kind of day.
Are these all ones and twos that you're rolling? So 4? Okay, all right.
They're very low.
Yeah. I'm like, damage. You're trying to bite the boar, and then I realized you were rolling for the
Yeah.
bear. Okay. Yeah, boy, all of you are rolling absolute. That can't be the bear's attack. You've got the modifiers messed up. There's no way.
Pretty
that it
much
does-
all my
Oh,
rolls
hold
are
on.
Even-
low to average today so far.
I mean,
Wasn't I have you attack again? You died. It's not my fault.
only one of you rolled above a 5.
Start.
Wait. Yeah, wow.
What is?
Oh, look at Rakana coming in.
No, that's Blondie.
I know. I understand it's Blondie, right? So, this is perfect, right? All of you just like, you're sitting there and you're getting prepared and you're so excited because you want to be the one who is the person that makes the killing blow. Mar, go ahead and roll damage for what you hit with.
Oh,
'Cause
okay,
you-
1 second.
Yeah, because they failed their saving throw. And Rakana takes this huge swing at the boar and kind of, misjudges terribly, how long it's taking the boar to get to her. And so just kind of whiffs in midair. On her back swing, she manages to hit Gibbs' stone that he was slinging at it out of the air. So that's impressive and looks cool. Cal,
Baseball.
exactly, throws a dart that just, sticks into one of the nearby trees. Smokey, the bear, tries to charge and take a bite out of him, but only might get like a little bit of its tail or something like that. Daisy again deftly, pulls back their short bow and lets loose, only to again barely miss Mar, over the head. Queso pulls out his dagger, tries desperately to lunge at the boar, but again misjudges. Mar does send a nice bolt of electricity that just
Wait, 1
Oh,
second.
yes. Yeah,
Um,
because there's supposed to
I
be
just
a modifier
yeah,
on that.
the modifier is not on it. Is there a way I can just roll from my sheet?
I'm sure.
Because when I press the
Is
name
there a
of
spell
the spell,
attack roll?
If you set
Well,
up
no,
your,
not for
your spell
damage.
correctly, it should be if you
Right,
just
if you set
click
up the
the
spell
spell.
correctly. Yeah.
well, damage. You set it up for me. I think you cleaned this for me.
Uh-oh.
It's damage's fault.
Shots fired.
No, I
Did
just
you-
I never
Um,
I don't know
Did
how
you
to use it.
turn on
All
the
right, hold on.
damage?
Let me open up your character sheet real quick. What are you? Okay, hold on. What are you trying to do?
I just want to roll for electric arc so that it does all the modifiers on top of it because I just rolled a random die because I can't find how to do it on the sheet.
You want to? You're trying to roll damage, or
Yeah.
At the cog for the spell, there'll be an attack field.
Yep.
In there,
I
there's
just
damage.
enabled
Make
it.
sure that make sure that's ticked on.
Yeah, I just enabled it, so you should be able to try it again.
Why is it giving me a syntax error?
Uh oh.
Uh oh,
That's a good question.
that is a very good question.
Okay, well it's supposed to be 1d4.
Oh, hold on. Yeah. All right. Try it. Close your character sheet. Reopen it. Try it
Bring
again.
them to me one at a time, though. Okay.
And then, so click the cogwheel next to electric arc and make sure that your attack and your damage toggles are both on. They should be now.
Okay. When I click the
You
spell,
need
it
it.
still gives me an error when I send it to Pouty.
Can you share a screenshot of what you're clicking on and what it looks like on?
I'm just
like,
clicking the name of the spell.
Discord? Oh, there's Shion. Hey, Shion.
Scanner!
Yeah, I was not planning to come today because there was a convention, but I decided that I didn't actually care too much about it anyway.
Yeah, there we go.
Mm.
Hi, Shion!
You're in a
Welcome.
perfect. You're in a perfect. You've literally arrived at the perfect time because you get to kill this boar, and tell us how you do it. It's taken several hit points away from your companions, and done some really nasty things, but it's sort of making its final death charge. And everybody else has missed except for Mars doing a little bit of damage with, basically pre-cooking the bacon. And then you just did a really nice divine lance attack thanks to Rakana, and you can tell us how the boar dies due to your divine lance.
You hadn't
Um,
attacked any other round, so and everyone was missing, so I was like, "Fuck it." Just fuck.
Well, what
Mar,
alignment
how-
did you use?
I didn't pick one because I wasn't sure what your deity. I
So,
thought you were
I-
neutral, right?
As an oracle, I can choose any of them, but you have to choose one.
Oh, I didn't choose one.
Mar, what? How much damage does that do?
It does a
I mean-
D4.
1d4.
1d4
Plus her,
4.
whatever her
And
modifier is.
plus
What
Yeah.
is-
charisma.
Spellcasting ability modifier, it says.
Yeah, but this looks like some field isn't filled in.
I'm
There it
assuming
is.
it wasn't the one of the D4.
All right, it works now, Mar. I just did it.
Thank you, Damage. You're the best. Okay, I roll.
You're welcome.
Wow. No, that's not that. Oh, that's the attack with the damage. Okay, that's fine.
I
Well,
don't
but
know if you're
it's-
looking at
electric arc's not
mine.
an attack though. It's so you don't actually.
Yeah, it just needs.
It's fine.
It's a
Damage on
DC.
it.
That's fine. Still,
Okay.
she still does. Like again, Mars lightning bolt goes out, or electric arc goes out, and hits the. Yeah, that's great. Hits
Okay.
the boar. Kind of starts at his snout and sizzles down the whole side of the boar, doing quite a bit of damage. It's kind of like tosses the boar off kilter to where the divine lance is able to just smack directly into it. And Xian, you want to finish my sentence for me?
Well, since Sabina rolled, she can go ahead and describe it.
Okay.
Blondie raises up a hand in like a finger gun motion and just kind of pew.
Okay.
Nice.
Kinda looks
What are you
down-
guys all missing? That was so easy.
Wow.
looks down the barrel of his thumb basically and just, pew! Does he make the pew noise? Does he do
Yeah,
the pew pew? Okay,
definitely.
perfect.
Perfect.
Pew pew.
Okay. Oh, okay, that's fine then. If she's gonna do that for me too. Thank you, Julie. Okay, fabulous. And so then there's a brief moment of pause where everybody kind of make sure that nobody's dead, other than the boar that kind of slumps over. Makes one last kind of huff and then is clearly out. Aldrin begins to, clap wildly and cheer and hoot and holler and, thinks that you've all done, incredibly impressive work and whatnot. He does, take, Shion, he moves to Blondie to try and hoist you up on his shoulder. Do you allow this to happen?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So he kind of, reaches down, picks you up, and puts you on his shoulder and is, praising you as the reason why the boar was killed at all, almost as though you did all the damage to it.
Of course.
And, then moves over to the boar and begins kind of field dressing it while he doesn't actually watch what he's doing as he's doing it. He's just chatting it up with each of you, asking you, wasn't that thrilling? Wasn't that so exciting? I hope you all enjoyed yourself. This boar is going to taste even better now because we had to hunt it ourselves, kind of situation. But it's interesting because he's again deftly working on the boar while not even kind of looking at it to where it's clear that this is something he's done several times. I'm going to just keep talking. If somebody wants to do something, go ahead and interrupt me, okay? So, after probably 20 or 30 minutes, I don't know, I guess if you'll have some time while he's field dressing the boar if anybody wants to either treat wounds with the people for the people that are damaged. There was quite a bit. There's probably 40 plus points of damage handed out through that fight. Shion, just to kind of bring
Wait,
it up.
what? How?
Yeah.
Yeah, the boar was a demon.
Yeah, no, he was.
I
he
took
got,
14 from a single hit.
Yeah, no, he got some seriously good hits in on people.
I
So-
got
seems-
15.
That seems ridiculous when it's a single boar attacking a team of like 10 people.
Well, again, the combat was a little bit different, right? Where it was literally just like a charge through people. We handled it a little bit differently than what normal combat is. But when it does hit, it does 2d6 plus 6 points of damage.
Oh,
So-
spicy.
Yeah, no, it's a it's a CR2, and it's an elite, so it was pretty nasty. But he was only permitted. Well, so he wouldn't hit more than 2 people every round. Essentially, is what would happen. But it's sort of like a charge attack that could hit, multiple people. So,
Very
anyway,
cool.
so some people have taken some, quite a bit of damage. But to where, and you've got 20 to 30 minutes while Aldrin and his assistant, sort of prepare this boar for transportation back to town.
I'm just gonna. I'll
Oh,
walk
yeah.
up to the corpse and kneel and offer a small prayer
Okay. Of thanks for
of
the.
thanks. Mhm.
Sure.
Damage, aren't
Aldrin-
you shirtless?
Always.
Just trying to get a visual.
Yeah.
Why do you ask?
He has
Sorry,
a
sorry.
shirtless leather armor.
Hey, I'm not actually there.
Right. No, it's just are you reaching down and like taking some of the boar's blood and making markings on yourself, or what?
I'm
what are you
doing
doing?
finger paints. Yes. No.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Fabulous.
Oh God.
Right.
No.
I'm just wondering, but this is more of a ritualistic prayer or whatever to nature and to thank the boar and its spirit for feeding you later this evening, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sounds good.
Wishing it well in the afterlife. Blah blah blah.
Aldrin looks at you quizzically. He'll just come out and ask you at that point if you're a druid. He says something along the lines of, I've known your types to call themselves druids before. Godless folk who seem to worship nature.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm just gonna finish my prayer.
Okay.
And then I will stand and
Keep in mind, there's nothing intrinsically insulting about the way that he's calling you
okay.
godless, right? It's not.
That's what I okay, that
Yeah,
was the
no, it's
context
not
I was
meant
looking
as.
for.
It's clear that he's speaking in a tone that's sort of matter of fact, as opposed to, oh, you godless folk who who worship the nature or something. It's literally just like he's saying it like he's reading it out of a dictionary, right? Where it's like these
Right.
are people who are traditionally don't. I mean, I don't know. Do you have a deity that you're worshiping specifically? Like, are
Nope.
you doing Aristeal, or are you choosing to be
Nope.
atheist? Okay.
He isn't like actively atheist. Forrest is
Okay.
not
Or
like
agnostic or whatever.
yeah, he's
Yeah, okay.
just
He worships nature. If there's
he
something
doesn't see a point in worshiping deities
Got it. Okay.
when there's nature in front of
Nature to
him,
be
and
yeah,
he sees
sure.
the god in that, I guess.
Gotcha. The divine in nature. Sure. And that's basically what, Aldrin is, but he does look at you kind of quizzically. And asks whether or not that's how you kind of identify yourself.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay. And he goes on to talk about how wonderful nature is and how he enjoys spending time in it. He wishes that he got to spend more time there, but probably not as much as you. He does enjoy the comfort of a feather bed and a roof over his head when it begins to rain, kind of situation. But he can appreciate sort of where you're coming from. And again, just continues on. He says, "I'm sure that the meat will taste even better, knowing that the boar's spirit is somehow on its way to a place where it has all the tubers and roots that it could possibly want," and kind of chuckles at that idea. Anybody else? Okay. So the field dressing is finished at that point. He kind of takes the he'll ask Rakana and his aide if they're able to haul the boar back, or if you're willing to help the aide haul the boar back to the horses.
Sure,
Okay.
I can do that.
He thanks you. And he's got it set on a nice, decent sized stick, or really a small branch. And you guys are able to take it back to the horses, at which point you kind of put it over the back of one of the larger ones and begin your journey back to town. The journey back to town, again, Aldrin's fairly chatty. Not as he seems to engage the group more as opposed to individuals. And if there's anybody who has a question for him, or wants to, share anything, either amongst yourselves at this point, with him, has a question for him or his assistant, anything like that, now would be a time to potentially, bring those up.
I think I'll ask him that I noticed he was really adept at doing this already on his own, really, or he has a lot of experience. So why did he want us to be involved or like partake in this?
So as you approach him to speak, he listens intently. He's clearly kind of looking you over. You. Okay. and trying. How can I put this? He's waiting for you to finish talking as opposed to truly listening. He then makes a comment about how he is glad that you decided to feel comfortable enough to talk to him after your last sort of interaction. But as far as the asking to join, again, this is in his mind, this is part of what makes the feast that he invited you to as a way of thanking you for your participation in the defense of Sandpoint. This is part of that ritual, right? Where he has found that he truly does believe that the meal will taste better because you did it. You went out and were part of the team or part of the people that caught it successfully, right? And that made it happen. It's kind of like the fisherman finds that their fish is tastes better, richer than than the person who goes to the market and buys it there. So it's very clear that he truly does believe that there's a ritualistic sort of doing it with your own hands value add to the meal. And he'll make some comment of if if we were closer to my vineyard, I'd have us go out and potentially squeeze some grapes for the wine, that kind of a thing. So it's clear that he wanted, this is part of the thank you of the dinner.
Okay, I think Rose will just like listen intently and almost seem like this is foreign to her, what he's explaining, but just listen and then nod her head.
Okay. So how outwardly obvious you want to make that it seems foreign to you?
Maybe like a slight like cock of my head at hearing that this is almost for fun in a way, or like part of setting it up to enjoy the meal.
So, okay. So with that, he will say, excuse me, he will say something along the lines of, it's no different than, and then he stops, looks around, looks back at you, and then, quietly just begins, he says, oh, I understand why it's foreign to you. And then, continues galloping, kind of picks up the pace a little bit as you head back to town.
Okay, I fall to the back of the group, but I follow.
Okay. So the trip back to Sandpoint is relatively uneventful. The guards are waiting for you upon your return, so you are greeted by some guards. There's 4 that are on the bridge here. 3 of which you recognize, one of which does seem sort of new-faced. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Everyone?
Anybody who was in the hunting party? My God, guys. I guess you're getting them out of the way, so.
Oh, I think I
You
will
say
twice.
that.
My bad.
Apparently, I don't pay attention.
Well, all of your adrenaline is pumping pretty decently. I will say that Queso, Daisy, and Mar do recognize that the 4th guard, who looks kind of fresh-faced, is actually quite young. And so there's the impression, and let's see, Mar and Queso are able to recognize that this young boy is probably no more than 14 or 15 years old. He is tall for his age, but you do recognize him as one of the children that was at the docks during Forrest's, we'll call it Forrest fiasco. And
Allegedly.
what's that?
Allegedly.
Right. Right, exactly. He does kind of, as Forrest gets closer to the bridge to cross, he does step away just a little bit. But it's clear that the town has, at least in the meantime, before the sheriff returns with reinforcements, that they have conscripted some of the older teenagers to join the guard. So Aldrin kind of parades through the town, clearly taking a long way to his townhouse, to show as many people as possible that you all are in tow with him. Again, he's got Blondie on his shoulders, cheering about the great, boar slayer Blondie, and kind of, making sure to go past as many of the houses that have that you guys have noticed the Blondie effigies in before. This seems, it's a little quizzical as to why he would be doing this, but it's very clear that he's wanting as many people to see, him with you guys as possible. Most people nod and smile and, are pleasant. If you guys want to roll another perception check for me.
This is just the people returning from the.
Correct.
Yeah.
Seems
Okay.
about right.
I can do even worse and
I was
more
gonna say,
impressive.
Gib is relatively sure you're still in Sandpoint.
I mean,
You sure?
Gib got gravely wounded, so he's focusing on other things apparently.
Yes.
Liz's
That's fair.
perceptions.
Yeah, that's good. I am gonna send. Well, hold on. Okay. Yeah, all of you see what I told you before, where it's, everybody's, seems pleasant enough, and nothing seems out of the ordinary. Finally, you arrive at Aldrin's townhouse. Which point, a couple stable boys come out, take your horses, and then Aldrin, opens his door for you to enter. Now,
Cal would
Those-
speak up here.
okay.
Excuse me for a few. I'm going to go get the rest of our friends who didn't come with us.
He tells you that he's got one of his servants headed to the inn. Currently, they're still at the Rusty Dragon, and he kind of nods his head because they should be arriving shortly. So, those of you who are at the inn, right?
Mhm.
You get if you're just hanging out in the downstairs, or are you in the room?
I think we're hanging out downstairs.
Yeah, we're in the common room, I think.
Okay. Oh, right. You're just playing.
We were hanging out with he was playing and I was hanging out with
I am no
Shayla.
longer
Shayla?
playing.
Oh.
Shayla's, yeah.
All right.
I was admiring that Shayla's and I have the same hair color.
Right. So a man approaches you, He tells you that, Sir Aldrin is back with your companions and asks that you join them at your earliest convenience at his townhouse. And he hands you sort of a map with the townhouse clearly marked on it.
All right, I go and change into my finer embroidered clothing that I got
Okay.
a while back.
Okay. Shayla asks if you need any help.
I can put my own clothes on, thank you. I'm good.
Okay. She's clearly dejected and sad at the idea that you are denying her help. But when you
But I
return,
promised her that I'm gonna help her out.
oh my goodness,
From
that
the situation.
that definitely
Wow.
cheers her up.
From her situation.
Oh, her situation. Got it. Okay. So when when you return in your, fineries, you can tell that her face really lights up, and she's heavily complimentary of you, and how you look. She asks, whether or not she asks in a way that's clearly almost inviting herself what she should do while you're away.
Well, I would invite her. Does she look like she would fit? I don't know. Like, does she look like she would fit in? Is she dressed decently?
I mean, she has shopkeeper's clothing on. It's not, she's the daughter of a shopkeeper. She's not in rags by any means, right? But she certainly doesn't look like the type of clothing that Aldrin has.
I'll let her know that she could stay here and she could stay in my room.
Okay.
While I'm out, or
Okay.
whatever she wants to do.
Were you in the room on the left or the right at the end of the hall?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I think right,
Do
but
you remember what your room looked like?
no, because I missed. I think I missed the next day. I was out the next day, so
Do you know anybody who was in the room with you?
I think Shion was in there.
Okay, so that was the
the
big
room to the
rooms.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the room with at the end of the hall with the right. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that was
she'll
Rakana,
go up there.
Blondie.
You watch as she. Are you taking her to the room, or are you gonna just
Well,
tell her?
I'd show her.
Okay.
Where it was at. Yeah, yeah.
So when the door opens, she gets again very excited and just runs. She asks which bed is yours. Runs over to it and plops down and says that make sure to wake her when you get back, essentially, and kind of cuddles into the covers. Makes herself right at home. At which point, the rest of you you walk downstairs. The gentleman who gave you the notice is still there, and says that he'll be happy to escort you to the townhouse.
Is Danny down there as well?
So
Yep.
Danny, Lucian, and I think that was it. I think that was all that stayed, right?
That was
Yeah,
it.
it was just the.
Yeah, the two of you are there. Yes.
So I very cordially look at Danny and ask her if she's ready to go.
Yep. I'm getting hungry.
Yeehaw! Let's go. Yeah.
We're out of there.
Okay.
We will follow the servant guy who's escorting us.
Okay. So it's a brief, 7-minute walk, and you see that your friends are all sort of arriving at the same time, where you can see that they, a door is being opened for them, down the road, and they're being escorted into the townhouse. So those of you who are there currently, you're escorted in, and the townhouse is quite nice. It's definitely one of the more lavish buildings that you see. Most of the buildings in Sandpoint are. I guess I need to hold on. Change my. We're not in the forest. Let's see. One second.